And welcome back, everybody, to Salty Playground, vast network of podcasts. This is, of course, the Vox Populi episode.
In a manner of speaking.
Yeah, my bad, everybody. I forgot to put the poll up. And so I did put the poll up, but it was like only for an hour, and then Jacob was the only one that voted. So, voice of the people really is the voice of Jacob that wanted this travesty of a movie to be seen.
In the end, though, I did this so I can get that sweet, sweet trophy at the end of the year.
I'm so beating you. Like, you have to really catch up.
Well, as long as you keep forgetting the poll.
It's not going to happen again.
I don't believe you. Not for a second.
It's the first time I've ever done it, and this is like episode 19. And 18 times I've only forgot it once.
That's what? It's over 5%.
That's not that bad.
Depends on what you're measuring.
I think under 10 is good.
Really? For anything?
Yeah. We only have a 10% chance of getting cancer from this. Okay.
Like, what if that's something you need to do multiple times, though?
But it's only a 10% chance multiple times.
So, I mean, sure, it's a kind of gambler's fallacy, but...
It'll work out. It'll work out.
Whatever you say.
Anyway, I'm, of course, Christian Waltz, the helmsman of this thing. And I am here with this guy over here.
Hello. I'm this guy. I don't know why he introduced me like that.
Well, you never introduce yourself.
I'm shy.
You are. But that's not important right now.
But I don't care about that. Introduce yourself. I'm, of course, co-host Jacob.
Are you my co-host?
I assume so. If not, I just claim the position. Fight me.
Is it Mortal Kombat? Is that what's happening now? Highlander, there can only be one?
There can only be one co-host? There is only one co-host.
There can only be one co-host.
Unless you're up to unless you do like a secret shadow Salty Playground with another co-host.
You wouldn't know, would you?
I wouldn't. Don't listen. It's wrong, immoral, and blasphemous.
Only blasphemous if you are religious in any sort of way.
So then I guess I'm fine.
Yeah. Anyway, so what did we watch, Jacob?
We watched The Breakfast Club.
Did we?
The Breakfast Club was on.
Yeah, there we go. Just let you know, Jacob was like, I want to force Christian to watch this. And I went, yeah, this movie's terrible.
And then he went off and fixed shit in his house.
Yep. I watched parts, but it's the most boring. Nothing happens.
Nope.
Oh, you can't like a movie where there's just talking? I can. This was not a good one of those. What does a movie have like that's just been talking? I've never seen My Dinner with Andre. I was going to say that, but I've never seen it. I like shows where there's nothing but talk. I like Frasier. I like West Wing. That's just a lot of talking.
Yeah.
It's just this talking is boring, and is stilted the right word? Or is it just poorly written?
I don't know if John Hughes... It reads like John Hughes had never met a teenager.
Yeah, it's just... That's not how... Like, everything that happens in this movie is completely how none of this would ever happen.
I mean, we weren't high schoolers in 85, but I can't imagine they were that different in the 20 years?
20 years.
20 years that separate our high school careers?
Less than, but yeah, 20 years.
Yeah.
Because we graduated in 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're young. We're young whippersnappers. Oh, yeah. Don't know why I'm snapping my fingers. But yeah, no, it's... Yeah, I mean, go on with the cast list.
I can't even think. I can't even talk with it. Just go.
Just do it. I'm tired of it.
As I just mentioned, directed by John Hughes, produced by Ned Tannen, brother of Biff Tannen.
If only
by John Hughes.
If only it was connected to the better franchise, I'd be more interested.
Written by John Hughes, starring Emilio Estevez, Paul Gleason, Anthony Michael Hall, Judd Nelson, Molly Ringwald, Ali Sheedy. Music by Keith Forsey and Gary Chang. Cinematography by Thomas Delruth.
Emilio Estevez. If you don't know what that's from, it's from American Dad, where he went on a rant about how Emilio Estevez was amazing.
He chooses to be Mexican. And then when
he comes from an acting dynasty, but he chooses to be Mexican.
And when he knew we had enough, he just disappeared.
I don't even know what he's done lately. Are you looking him up?
I am looking him up.
Are you?
He was married to Paula Abdul?
Ugh, I'm sorry. That's just sad.
It was only for 2 years.
Good. And then she died?
No. To my knowledge, Paula Abdul is still alive.
How?
Good genes.
Is that your answer for everything? Good genes? Are you secretly Nietzsche-esque over there? Like, if you're an Uberman, you don't have to worry about these things.
Let's see. He was in...
So, eugenics really does make a case, Christian. What?
The last thing he was in a movie called The Way. Actually, he directed, wrote, produced it. He wasn't even in it.
The Way. That was a good movie. It was about milk proteins.
I don't think that's correct.
It is correct. The Way.
I see what you're doing.
It's cheese making.
I see what you're doing.
I didn't know how it was spelled, so I'm going with that.
And no.
What's that, homophone? Homophone? Sounds the same?
Homophone.
Or is that homonym?
Homonym is spelled the same. Homophone,
So phone is...
It would be sounds the same.
Yeah. It's spelled differently. Like there.
Yep. This has been your... is that grammar? Syntax?
Great grammar.
Yeah, grammar.
This has been your grammar portion of the Zolta Diagram podcast.
We don't really have portions.
We do. Michael Clark Duncan stories.
We don't do those anymore.
Ben Affleck relationship updates.
Oh, by the way, I've got...
Uma Thurman death watch?
Is
she dead?
No, I've got a bone to pick with you about the Ben Affleck relationship. According to... Well, we'll talk about that in the proper segment.
Oh, I thought maybe Uma Thurman had been dead. Why? What? Did they break up again?
No, this isn't the right segment. Respect the rules.
What rules?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Well, what bone to pick? You brought it up.
All right.
Now I'm ready. I'm all ready to be bone picked in a sexual way. Emilio Estevez.
Yeah, no, I've gotten them. They finalized their divorce.
They changed?
Yeah.
When did that happen?
I don't know, a couple of weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah. So you were wrong.
The article I said they were working things out, and now it's changed.
But we brushed past it last time.
Yeah, I didn't look it up.
Yeah.
I just assumed that they were still...
Yeah.
I believed in the love between Jennifer Gardner and Ben Affleck. But now we all know the truth. Love doesn't exist. Love is false. That sucks. Or does it? I don't even know why I care.
Do you want Jennifer Garner to think you're nicely creepy?
No, not really. She's not really my type. What are you doing?
I'm going back to Breakfast Club.
Okay. So yeah, Breakfast Club. How's the movie start, Jacob?
This movie starts off
with... that narration of that stupid essay?
Yeah. And then we see them all being dropped off at detention, except for one guy who just walks out of the ether and shows up.
Bow, bow, chick, 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 bow, bow, chick, 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 bow, 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 chick, chick, chick.
You done?
Do you know what I'm doing?
No.
You've never seen Ferris Bueller?
No.
Maybe that's why I suggested it. I'm gonna make that next week's thing. We're gonna stay with high school. This is when they
Yeah, it's my choice.
No, I don't know. I'm executive decision.
Anyway, there's 5 kids. There's the pretty one. I don't know. The smart one, the athlete, the shithead, and the neurotic one. And they all gather up in the library where the vice principal says...
Where they're mansplained to. Let's be honest here, folks. It was mansplaining, and that just shows how bad a hetero-patriarchal, cisgender society is going on these days.
I don't know what you're doing. What character?
I'm just telling you the truth.
What voice is that? Who is that?
This is my voice checkup. Maybe if you weren't so cisgendered, man. So hetero-patriarchal.
So cisgendered?
So cisgendered, man. I really don't know what that voice was, but that's me if I was an SJW. That's it right there. I talk like this. That's what happens.
Anyway, the vice principal...
So lispy.
The vice principal says...
I want a snake.
Snakes don't lisp.
Okay? Yeah, they do.
They hiss.
What are you talking about?
I don't know what's wrong with you.
I'm tired. But you slept like 10 hours.
I know! So, the vice principal says, I want you to stay here. You can't talk, you can't move, or sleep, and I want you to write in a 1,000-word essay.
Which is like 3 pages.
Yep. You can knock that out in...
Under an hour.
Yeah.
Depends how fast you can write.
Yep. And then, I don't know what they do for the other 6 hours.
Circle jerk.
Circle jerk?
Circle jerk.
What do they do with the 2 women?
I said circle jerk.
I mean, but the women don't jerk.
It's all the same.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. Aren't we all equal now, Jacob?
No.
What? Oh. I don't know. I really don't know. They're in a library. Maybe they can read.
They can't get up from their seats. I guess
maybe he said maybe they'll say they brought those books from home. He does not watch them.
That's fair.
He's very bad at his job.
He didn't want to be there on his Saturday either.
I don't know. Is he getting overtime?
I don't know. Teachers get overtime. Teachers are salaried, aren't they?
Yeah, that's true. Whenever how you got...
this is an hourly teaching job. What do we get to get home when I feel like I've made enough money? You come in at 6 and you leave at 6.
Sounds like factory work. Well, that is what they're training people to do.
Hold on to that thought for 10 years.
It's actually why there's a lot of the homeschool movement's getting big, because even a lot of teachers are like, yeah, this system doesn't work because it's just teaching people for factory jobs. And I didn't know if you know this or not, but we're in a post-industrialized society. You know what that means? You know what it means? Industrialization is lessening instead of rising. Are you aware of this? Have you heard about this? Do you know about this?
The factory jobs are coming back. I was promised.
You didn't vote for him. I don't know what you're talking about. Neither did I.
Anyway.
So I can just be terrified with everybody else.
Anyway, so Bender spends hours just being a
Bender?
Yeah, that's his name.
Is it Bender Rodriguez?
It's not that, but...
Oh.
And he spends his entire time being a huge shithole to just everybody.
Oh, is he the bully who would never, like, actually exist in real life?
The criminal, yes.
Because if anyone started doing that, like, in real life, they get punched in their face.
You can maybe get away with that in middle school. By high school, everyone's realized that I don't have time for you, I don't have time for your shit, and get out of my face.
Yeah. That's how I dealt with high school bullies.
Dude, bullies in high school? There's still bullies in high school?
Well, to be fair, they weren't.
Like I said, by high school, people have figured out that none of that matters.
No, they're still bullies. It's just you were, well, first of all, you were way removed from everything because, you were antisocial. But I had, like, 5 different fights freshman year. People were just, like, picking on me. I was like, dude, stop it. I will punch you in your face. And that's what happened. Never got caught. It was every one of them was in the freshman football locker room. Someone kept... like one time, I was just laying, because the lockers, they were flat on top, and there was a giant space between the wall and top of the lockers. So I decided to lay down on top of them just before I gained for rest, and some guy kept trying to push me out. I'm like, dude, why? Why are you doing this? Stop it. And he wouldn't, so I came down and kicked his ass. And that was like the 3rd time I kicked that guy's ass, because he would always just pick on me for no reason. I'm like, dude, stop it. Punch in the face. He was also the worst fighter. Like, this is what he would do. He would, like, lower his body and then run at you.
What?
Yeah, and I'm like, as he ran at me, I'd like sidestep, grab the back of him, and then use his own force to shove him into shit.
It's not even really a fighting technique.
No, I'm like, dude, what are you doing? And you just like go head first into metal lockers all the time. And then you do it again. Like, you didn't learn the lesson. I'm like, dude, why are you doing this?
I thought you were going to say he makes fists like this. Which is wrong.
People would make fists like this? Why? You break your thumb.
Yeah, people who don't know better.
Which, I mean, I consider those fights, they weren't really fights to me because it was just easy. There was one time where, like, I got broken up by the rest of the football team because I was about to kill somebody. So, we were on the bus from a game, we got beat, and it sucked, and this guy was just, like, shoving his football pads in my face from behind. So I punched him. I went back and I said, stop, and he wouldn't stop. So I turned around and just slammed him in his face. And when we went back to the locker room, I was like, all right, dude. And we went back to the locker room. He didn't come at me. So I was like, all right, cool, checking out. So I start undressing. And then from behind me, he hits me in the back of the head. And then it was like blinding rage at that point. And then, yeah, they broke us up. Well, actually, no, Sloan was just a big black guy. He was like 6'3", and he grabbed both of us and went, "Stop it!"
I can see that. I remember Sloan.
Yeah. He's a good dude. He lives on the side of town.
That means nothing to me.
I think he was going to be a paramedic. Oh, an EMT. It's good money.
Yeah,
$15 an hour.
Anyway,
now that I'm done reminiscing about the fights I had in high school, I think every young boy should have fights in that. I mean, I almost got into that fight during that lunch period. Remember that?
the seats?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember that? That was a good time.
It's like, we've always been sitting here. How?
We've always sat here. What?
I remember that.
Everyone was just sitting and then not like dressing outside. That was fun.
There were no seats left for you. You're like, who are these guys?
It's like one of the few times you'd actually gone to go get lunch.
Yep.
You used to get lunch money in your lunch, but you never buy lunch. I think I borrowed like so much money off.
Yeah, I didn't eat lunch. I skipped lunch.
Yeah. But yeah, that was so stupid.
And yeah, I'd periodically get. It's like, I need lunch money to keep up the lie.
And then let's go in the bathroom and fight. I'm sorry, I'm not into that. Anyway, sorry, I'm like reminiscing through all my high school now. It's amazing.
Anyway,
or those days, Jacob, we had no responsibilities. Just went to school, basically goofed off all day, and went home and played video games.
Yep.
Don't you remember that in government class when we would talk the whole time, and then ace the tests, and everyone else would like have trouble with it?
Yeah,
that was fun. They didn't like us.
Anyway, so they spend all their time talking, and we gradually realize that somehow, through sheer cosmic coincidence, these are like the most fucked up kids in the school. They've all got abusive parents.
Not really. 2 of them are just, my parents don't pay attention to me. And?
I mean, neglect can be considered a form of abuse.
No, by high school. Like, when you're like a child. But you're a teenager. Grow up.
Anyway. I actually don't know how to... I really don't know how to stretch this movie out.
No, it's just them talking.
Because they talk about their problems, and then eventually they realize that they're all not so different.
We're not so different,
And then...
except we have no similar hobbies, we just have similar situations.
Two of them pair off. Four of them pair off into couples.
I don't know why. You know, a relationship not built upon similar ideologies and hobbies is not gonna last.
Really? You don't think different people can... Didn't James Carville from 30 Rock teach you anything?
The Raging Cajun?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they still had similar... They're both into politics, just different sides of the spectrum, and I assume they have hobbies they share.
Mm.
Like, you can be left and right and be like, both care about poor people, you just want to approach the problem differently. That's really what generally the left and right are very similar-minded. They just want to approach the problems differently. Jacob?
Nicolas Cage was going to be Bender?
Jacob, we're more similar than we are different. Why can't we all just unite? E pluribus unum. Vindi vidi vici. Exodus acto proba. Cheyenne est diem. Carpe diem, man. You're not gonna come out on the Latin I just said?
No, I'm reading details about the Breakfast Club.
Well, why don't you share?
No, thanks. It's not that interesting.
Just like the movie?
Yes.
What is with this movie?
I do not know.
You don't?
I don't.
That's sad.
I'm just reading all the quintessential 1980s film. A warm, insightful, and very funny look into the inner lives of teenagers.
How? How is that any of those things? There's like so many better high school movies. Ferris Bueller. Actually, Fast Times might be a 70s. We'll look it up. Fast Times the original. I'm pretty sure it's 80s, but it might be 70s. And then, what's the
82.
What's the pot smoking one?
How High? That movie where two guys smoke the ashes of Benjamin Franklin to pass their college courses, or to get into college. And then actually, I know they do take it to help pass college.
No, but I mean, I can't remember. So that's almost anything's better than this movie for high school in the 80s. There are a lot of 80s high school movies. I mean, I guess there's a lot of high school movies about our time, but our time's just boring. It's all like about bullying, shooting up schools, and suicide. Isn't that sad?
It is sad.
You know, there's just one movie, and if anyone knows what this movie is, I will be really happy. I can't give anything, but I have tried on the internet to find this movie. So, it's about a bunch of friends in high school, and they're all picked on, and one time they get sodomized by the bullies, like with a stick, and then there's also cutscenes where they're getting literal shit thrown at them, and in the end they shoot the school after their best friend is killed. By, I think, his dad. Like, he's beat to death. If anyone knows what that movie is, it was on Netflix, and I watched it when it wasn't my Netflix account, it was my parents' account, because that's how long ago I've seen this movie, so it's completely gone from my memory. I can't find it anymore. I've looked on Google, I've looked on the what movie is this website. It's such a small indie movie that I can't find it. What are you looking at?
I'm trying to see if I can't find that movie.
You can't. I've tried. Anyway, back to Fast Times.
What?
We're watching Fast Times now. I'm sorry, I wish it was Fast Times so much, Jacob.
That wasn't even an option on the poll.
I wish it was either Fast Times or Ferris Bueller's Day Off. At the very beginning, Ferris decides to be on Colin's sick. He doesn't call him sick. That'd be his job. He fakes his illness to his parents, and then we find out how he does it.
They don't let kids call us sick. Yes, sorry, teacher. I could be in bed totally sick. Wait a minute, is that you? You can't call yourself in sick.
But he fakes his parents, and we find out how he did it. One of the things he does is he spits on his hands, which sounds childish, but makes his hands feel cold and clammy. So, he feels sick. There's a couple other things I don't remember either, and then he, and his principal's out to get him. He's like, your son has been out of school 9 times with Ferris Bueller. Instead of getting a car, which is what he asked for his 16th birthday, he got a computer. So he hacks into the school, like in war games.
It's a little fact, 80s computers, super hackable. It's a wonder the Russians didn't just crash the internet back then.
Because they couldn't afford computers.
They couldn't afford computers?
Yeah. Oh yeah, and he takes his sick days down from 9 to 3. And his principal is like watching the screen as he goes, dude, he's like, he just is looking at like, what?
That's how computers work, Christian.
Yeah, and then he gets his girlfriend out by he gets to his friend Cameron, who did call out sick, who thinks he is sick and he wants to die. He's doesn't have the best home life. His dad's a piece of shit. So Ferris convinces him to come over, and then he has Cameron call the principal to get Ferris's girlfriend out of school. Then they steal his dad's Ferrari for this, like it's a '60s Ferrari, mint condition. And in the movie, that Ferrari goes off the house into the forest. It's destroyed. It's like $200,000, probably more. if it's a 60s make edition Ferrari.
You keep going? I'll let you describe Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
They have a lot of misadventures. They go to the top of the Sears Tower, which is now the Willis Tower. What you talking about, Willis? And they stand up, press their face against the glass, and look down, which I don't think you're allowed to do.
Probably not. People's faces are dirty.
And also would terrify me, because have I told people on there about my weird fear of...
I think so.
Every time I get someplace I imagine falling and dying. Anyway. It's a good movie. You also have the fact that they park it in a parking garage, and the people they park it with in the parking garage take it out for a spin the whole day. Because it's a Ferrari, man. Don't worry about it. I'm professional. Professional what? And then Cameron pretends to drown so he can... wait, no, that's not right. I'm starting to mix it with Sandlot a bit. That is incorrect. Cameron, once he realizes the mileage on the car, freaks out and goes into, just does, blank. And they go to, I want to say Ferris's? No, Ferris's not a pool. Someone's pool. Maybe his girlfriend's house's pool. And he's just staring out blank. And when he finally comes to after almost drowning, Ferris Bueller saves him, of course. I think he might have, no, anyway. When he saves him, he just goes, Ferris Bueller, my hero. And he's like, and they go, were you aware this whole time? And he's like, yeah. And then his girlfriend asks him, even when I was undressing, he's like, yeah. This movie, Ferris Bueller is great. I give it an 8 out of 10.
I've only seen bits and pieces of Ferris Bueller from channel surfing.
It's because you're a trash person.
Fair enough.
And his sister tries to get him in trouble, but in the end, his sister realizes that she loves him. Yeah. And Charlie Sheen's in it.
Yeah, I was going to say, she meets Charlie Sheen. I've seen that part.
He's strung out. So Charlie Sheen.
Yes. Wasn't even acting. They just found him. Dazed and Confused on a lot.
Dazed and Confused is the movie I was thinking of.
What?
Dazed and Confused.
The High movie?
The High movie. Thank you.
Whatever you say, man.
And there's Save Ferris everywhere. When he leaves school sick, apparently everyone's life stops. The world centers around Ferris, which is pretty great. It also means he's scarily egomaniacal. He could probably lead a totalitarian revolt against the government. I didn't think Hitler was that popular. What are you looking at?
Nothing. It's none of your business.
But it is my business.
It's not.
Yeah, it is. It's over here. In my house, so it's my business.
I'm working on something over here.
Okay. But seriously, that's time to raise my mind.
Yeah, clearly, Ferris is going to set up the SOS Brigade.
That's time to raise my mind, man. The fact that...
You can start explaining that movie now, too?
The fact that he had sex with that chick for a minute and then just left her there, and she got pregnant, had to get an abortion. That was some stuff, man. That's something you couldn't put in a movie nowadays. A high school movie, abortion.
But you could. Wouldn't be popular.
Because it's murder, Jacob. Is murder popular? Yeah, it is. Saw movies.
I'd say more than just Saw.
Yeah, it's just Saw. Saw's the only movies that murders have ever happened on any time. Anyway, so really, and actually loudly, what movie did we watch?
Breakfast Club?
That's right. You have anything to talk about?
I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 10. This is boring as shit.
You're not gonna wax poetically or philosophically or anything. On a philosophical level, what philosophy did you pick up?
How did this movie speak to me?
Yeah.
Well, it's a movie about... I don't even know, man.
How adults see high school kids?
Probably, yeah.
Is that it? You're not gonna...
Yeah.
You're done?
I got nothing to say.
We've only gone 30 minutes, Jacob.
That's good enough for me.
We need to fill this episode out a bit more.
With what?
I don't know. How about the Jacob and Christian comedy hour? So, I heard this joke the other day. Did you know about this? Did you hear about this? So, these two people, Boris and Natasha, they're walking through Red Square, Jacob. They're walking. Boris just got off work. Hey, Natasha, they work together. Isn't that nice when, people in a relationship, they actually get to work together?
I don't know. I feel like that'd be seeing them too much.
Yeah, but they enjoy it. Except for Boris had a bad day. He's not doing too good. It's one of those days where you just need to win. And Boris starts feeling some water. And he puts his hand out. He feels some water come on his hand. It's like, it's raining. It's raining. Yeah. Natasha looks up in the sky. She sees pure blue skies. No clouds. And she's like, no, it's not. It's not raining, Boris. Boris is just like, oh my God. Can't you just want to agree with me? It's raining. Come on. Clearly. Look, how would I get droplets of water on my hand if it wasn't raining? And Natasha's like, no, it's not. It's not raining. And then Boris sees one of his friends. He sees him. It's one of a patrolman basically, and patrolling the Red Square. He goes up to him and goes, "Comrade, is it raining or not?" And the guard looks up in the sky, sees there's no clouds in the sky, and then looks back down, but then he sees Boris's face. It's one of those faces you see, when someone's really looking at you, and like, dude, just agree with me. You know that face people give? And he sees that, thinks for a second, thinks real hard, and goes, definitely raining. And then Boris turns and touches it and goes, see, Rudolph the Red knows reindeer.
See, I'm glad we're in here now because I can do this.
What? What are you doing? Just leaving? You're just done?
It doesn't slam loud enough, but I tried.
You didn't like that? You didn't like that? I thought it was good comedy.
That was a lot of setup for no payoff.
It's a Norm Macdonald-esque joke right there.
Yeah.
I thought that went all up myself. Don't you like that? You just got to meander. You had to build up for a while a punchline that's non-existent or really bad. It's really easy. You just get that reaction from people of, oh God, really?
So, with that, actually, you never gave your score for Breakfast Club. Or your philosophical thoughts.
The Breakfast Club. It's interesting, It's almost well, it tries to be. It doesn't deliver, but it tries to be a look at human psychology and really, what the different types of people there are. But really, we're all the same as well. So we all can come together, commonalities. It fails on this, but it tries, and I think philosophically, it doesn't really have a cogent philosophy. Like, there's I don't sense any Kantian, Kierkegaardian, Socratic, really major influences. It could be Eastern philosophy, but as all philosophers know, Eastern philosophy, complete trash. Trash philosophy for trash people.
Really?
Yeah. Western philosophy is where it's at. Some Greeks, not all the Greeks. Some Greek, Socrates, Plato, Aristotle.
We all know Pythagoras knew where it was at.
No, he had that weird math cult. Anyone that has a weird math cult cannot be good.
You can't eat beans, or was it only beans?
And I don't remember.
You can't have like birds nesting in your house.
And the rest of Western philosophy generally boils down to, or at least references, or is a spin-off of some ideas Thomas Aquinas did, which when he wrote his treatises as a Catholic monk. I don't know, maybe. Do you sense any marks from here? They're all the same, really. Trying to buck against the oppressive bourgeois.
I don't think so.
Do you think they should seize the means of production?
Probably not. I don't see that.
Oh. What about Leninism? See any Leninism in here?
Like I said, I don't really think I see any philosophy. It's just adults thinking they know what teenagers think about. That's the thing. The farther away you are from your teens, you don't remember anymore.
I don't remember what I was like in my teens. I was trash.
Remember, you really think you go to a high school, chat up some teenagers, barring the legal consequences?
But I could totally do that. I'd come in with a backwards hat on, skateboard in, and be like, "Hey guys, what's going on? I'm a teenager just like you." Actually, I don't remember the Steve Buscemi line he delivers.
What's up, fellow young people?
One of the best parts ever. It's like, yeah, that one didn't work out. So. Steve Buscemi's an amazing man.
National treasure.
He is. He's a gem. Firefighter, man.
Yep.
But, yeah. That's the thing, is it's so milquetoast. Like, it doesn't really address really anything. Like, oh, parents are abusive. Yeah, but there's other movies that do that way better. It's so bland. Like, I know I kidded, but like Fast Times, that actually does really more look in depth about shit. Deals with stuff like abortion and stuff. And then Spicoli is just looking for some sweet waves, man. Tasty waves. Who orders a pizza to be ordered to his math class, which is awesome. And Ferris Bueller, on the other end of the spectrum, is just fun. It's a teenage fan. It's straight up a teenage fantasy of, man, I wish I could totally trick my parents to call in sick one day and then screwing them over and take all their money to have fun in Chicago or whatever big cities near you. Go to a big city, do you? But
who was that? What voice was that?
That was my announcer voice. But this movie just falls flat on all those counts. and then it's just people talking, and it's not good dialogue. It's not Sorkin-esque dialogue. Which, it's the 80s, but there has been good dialogue. Like, I haven't seen it, but I've heard great things about My Dinner with Andre. And that's just two guys sitting and talking. So, good things can happen with just dialogue.
Yeah.
It has to be engaging, though. It has to be well written. And this was not it. So, I give it a 3 out of 10. Anything else you want to add?
No, I got nothing.
Come on, buddy. Why do you tell a joke? I told a joke.
First of all, you just ruined jokes for me.
That was brilliant. You know it. I should have added more stuff to it, make it a little bit longer. Yeah, that was a problem. Maybe it wasn't long enough. Maybe it wasn't enough setup. I'll workshop it a bit. Coming to a Chuckle Hut near you. Christian Falls' comedy.
What is our Crackers? Crackers is our comedy club in Indianapolis.
There's a couple others. Yeah, Crackers is the big one.
It's a Mexican restaurant now too, I think.
It's on top of an Indian restaurant.
Which one am I thinking of? Because there's one in Broad Ripple.
Oh, I'm thinking the one downtown.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but yeah, I thought about doing stand up, but yeah, that would, like I said, it makes. No, I was telling Ian about this. I thought about maybe trying a.
No, Crackers is the one in Broad Ripple.
They're both. There's also one downtown though.
Yeah.
But I thought about doing an open mic night, doing a mix of Steve Martin / Norm Macdonald as comedy. Those two comedy styles. Do you think those can merge?
Maybe you'd have to try it.
Wacky zaniness with just ridiculously long stories with the most anticlimactic joke ever.
I was thinking of Morty's.
Morty's?
Yeah. And Morty's is a Mexican restaurant as well.
But yeah, I don't know. Other than that, it is what it is. A terrible movie. So, you want to lead us out then?
All right. This has been Salty Playground Vox Populi, but before, we need to decide what we're doing next week. And it's my turn to choose. I feel like we don't do enough animated movies, so my theme for next week is Disney princess movies. I'm going to choose... let's go with classic. I'm going to do Cinderella.
Cinderella's trash.
I don't care. Go fuck yourself. Pick your movie.
Sleeping Beauty, the best one there is.
All right, then. Cinderella versus Sleeping Beauty. This is not a question from your 4-year-old girl. This is from Salty Playground. We want
a manly podcast.
A manly podcast for manly people. We've got facial hair muscles.
Well, you have trash. I have an imperial. That's what it's technically called.
Mine is homeless chic.
No, homeless chic would be if you grew everything out. Anyway, yeah. So that's the thing with the stuff.
And this time a poll will be up.
Yep.
And
remember.
Now I will lead us out. This has been Salty Playground.
And if you disagree with us on Breakfast Club, just know that you were wrong. It is a bad movie. Rewatch it.
And also email in.
No, don't. Just know that you're wrong.
People who like Breakfast Club need not apply?
Yeah. Just stop listening to Salty Playground. You're not going to like us.
Anyway, as he said, this has been Salty Playground, Vox Populi.
You said that.
Anyway, you can follow Christian at cold_Christmas. You can follow me at Brian_Amoeba. The Twitter, of course, is at SaltyPlayPod. There's, of course, Dan the intern. We haven't mentioned in a while, but
yeah, no Eldritch Truths this episode.
We'll work on it.
I mean, did you sense any conspiracy theories from this movie?
It's just boring.
It's just boring. We had no material to work with. I mean, Cat in the Hat had provided better material.
Yeah.
Did it though? We just kind of really went off the rails.
We didn't talk about Cat in the Hat at all.
Yeah.
Anyway, you can find us at any major podcast platform.
Yep.
And that's it. See you next week.
What's the email?
saltyplayground@gmail.com.
You are correct. You have passed the quiz. Yep. See you next week, everybody, with Sleeping Beauty.